All right, we're going deep on cryptocurrency history today.
Deep dive time.
You know I love a good origin story.
Yeah.
And we've got a fresh perspective here. The history of cryptocurrency. From AiTellit. Published just this March, so we're talking cutting-edge stuff here.
It's a fascinating read.
Seriously. But, okay, before we even get to Bitcoin, and we will, promise, did you know the NSA was poking around in the digital cash world back in the 90s?
Oh, yeah, way back. They were kicking around ideas for a cryptocurrency system. They even put out a whole paper on it in '96.
Hold on. The NSA, as in that NSA, they were into this stuff.
Yep, government spooks and digital cash stranger things, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't Bitcoin, obviously, but you can see the seeds of the idea: encryption, decentralization.
Yeah, so the whole no banks, no government thing, that was already in the air.
In the air, but also kind of clunky back then. Before the NSA paper, there were projects like eCash and DigiCash, late 80s, early 90s.
So like the dial-up modems of digital currency.
Exactly. They didn't quite hit the mainstream, but they were laying the groundwork.
It always blows my mind how these things connect. Speaking of which, we got to talk about Wei Dai and B-Money. 1998, this guy was ahead of the game.
Right. B-Money itself wasn't a real currency. It was more like a blueprint. But it was incredibly detailed, and it looked a lot like Bitcoin.
So like the missing link between those early attempts and, well, everything that came after.
Think of it like this B-Money laid out this vision of using cryptography and decentralized networks to create a new kind of money, free from governments, free from central banks.
Sounds familiar. So the stage is set, but how do we get from this B-Money blueprint to, actual Bitcoin?
Fast forward to January 2009. The world's in a financial crisis, remember? And out of nowhere, boom, Bitcoin appears.
Cue the dramatic music and the mysterious creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. Still no idea who that is, right?
Still a mystery. But whoever they left us this incredible gift, the Genesis block.
Okay, pause for a sec. Genesis block, for those of us who aren't, crypto whizzes, explain it like I'm 5.
Imagine a digital time capsule from the exact moment Bitcoin was born. That's the Genesis block, the very first block of the Bitcoin blockchain.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
But it wasn't just a timestamp. Satoshi hid a message inside the Genesis block, a clue. Like they were saying, hey, I see what's going on in the world even as I'm building this new one.
Okay, now that's just cool. A hidden message from the creator of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You can't make this stuff up.
Right. And then there's the Bitcoin white paper. This wasn't just a tech spec doc, it was a manifesto, a call to action. People were captivated by this idea of a decentralized currency, free from the grip of banks and governments.
So not just a new kind of money, but a whole new way of thinking about money.
Exactly. And underpinning it all was this revolutionary technology blockchain.
Ah, yes, the B word. Everyone's talking about blockchain, but it still feels kind of mysterious to a lot of people.
It's simpler than it sounds. Imagine a digital ledger, right? But instead of it being kept by one bank or company, it's copied across countless computers. Everyone on the network has a copy.
So it's like a Google Doc that the whole world can see and verify.
Kind of. Every transaction is recorded on this ledger, and everyone gets the updates. So if you try to cheat the system, everyone knows.
No more cooking the books.
Exactly. Blockchain brought transparency and security to a whole new level.
Okay, starting to see why people got so excited about this whole Bitcoin thing. But it wasn't perfect, was it?
No technology is perfect. Bitcoin had its limitations, which sparked a whole wave of new ideas and innovations. Entered the altcoins.
Bitcoin was revolutionary, no doubt, but it was really just the tip of the iceberg. Like you invent the car, but then someone's going to come up with a sports car, right?
Yeah.
And then a self-driving one. That's what happened with altcoins.
It really was an explosion of creativity.
Right.
Take Litecoin, for example. It was designed to be faster and more scalable than Bitcoin.
Like a souped-up version.
Exactly, the sleek sports car to Bitcoin's trusty sedan. Then you have Ripple, which was all about making international payments smoother and cheaper. Think cross-continental travel without the jet lag.
Love that analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, but things get really mind-bending with Ethereum because it wasn't just about a new kind of money. It was about building a whole new internet on top of this blockchain technology.
That's where smart contracts come in, right?
Exactly.
That's a lot.
Imagine a vending machine, but instead of dispensing snacks, it dispenses digital agreements that execute themselves automatically.
Okay.
That's essentially what a smart contract is. It's a set of rules written in code that live on the blockchain. And once those conditions are met, boom, the agreement is enforced. No middlemen, no loopholes.
So if Bitcoin was like inventing digital cash, Ethereum was like inventing the digital legal system and the digital infrastructure all in one go.
You got it.
That's wild. And of course, where there's innovation, there's opportunity queue, the ICO boom. Ah, yes. The Wild West of fundraising. Remember those old Western movies where people would rush to stake their claim during a gold rush? That was the ICO craze.
Crazy times.
Projects were raising millions, sometimes billions, by selling tokens directly to the public, all based on a promise, a white paper, a dream.
Some of those dreams turned into reality, but others, well,
Let's just say some people learned the hard way that not all that glitters is gold.
it was a bit of a roller coaster ride, to say the least, which
Mhm.
I guess is where regulation comes in. Governments around the world were watching this whole cryptocurrency thing unfold, and, well, I imagine they were freaking out a little. It's like, imagine a new city popping up overnight with no laws, no police, no traffic lights,
Chaos.
and governments hate chaos.
Exactly. So they started grappling with this question. How do you regulate something that was specifically designed to be decentralized, borderless, and outside of traditional control mechanisms?
Talk about a headache. Trying to fit this square peg into a round hole.
You said it. Some countries, like the USA, decided to play it cautiously, focusing on protecting investors and cracking down on scams.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you want to innovate, fine, but we're going to put some guardrails in place.
Makes sense. But then you have China going completely the other way, banning cryptocurrency outright. Talk about a difference of opinion.
Exactly. And then you have the European Union somewhere in between, trying to strike a balance between fostering innovation and maintaining financial stability. It's a global puzzle with no easy answers, and it's still playing out as we speak.
It's a good thing we love a good mystery. But speaking of mysteries, let's talk about DeFi. It's one of those terms everyone throws around, but I feel like most people still don't really get what it is or why they should care.
Decentralized finance. Imagine a world where you could borrow money, lend money, trade assets, all without ever setting foot in a bank. That's the promise of DeFi.
Bold.
It's about using blockchain and smart contracts to create a parallel financial system, one that's more open, transparent, and accessible.
So it's like taking the core principles of cryptocurrency and applying them to the entire financial world.
Exactly. And it's already happening. We've got platforms like Compound and Aave that let you lend and borrow cryptocurrency directly from other people, earning interest without a bank taking a cut. And then there's Uniswap, a decentralized exchange where you can trade crypto without going through a traditional exchange.
So DeFi isn't just about tech. It's about power. Who controls your money? Who profits from it? DeFi flips the script. No wonder everyone from Wall Street to your grandma is starting to pay attention.
It's true, and that's one of the most fascinating things about the whole cryptocurrency space. It's forcing the old guard to adapt or get left behind.
We're talking major institutions, hedge funds, even governments dipping their toes into the crypto waters. It seems like everyone wants a piece of the action. It's like this whole wave of institutional money is validating what crypto folks have been saying all along. This is the future of finance.
It's not just about making money, though. Cryptocurrency has the potential to change the world. For the better.
Okay, now you've got my attention. World-changing potential, really. Tell me more.
Imagine a world, right, where anyone, no matter who they are or where they live, can access financial services just using a smartphone.
Okay, that's pretty huge when you put it like that.
No more banks, no more crazy fees, no more being shut out of the global economy because you were born in the wrong place. That's the power of financial inclusion, and cryptocurrency is making it happen.
Giving financial freedom to billions of people? That's a powerful idea.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just individuals. Think about businesses that can now operate across borders more easily. Charities getting donations in a completely transparent way, artists getting paid directly for their work. Crypto is changing the game for everyone.
It's like rewiring the entire global economy from the ground up.
We're talking a complete paradigm shift. And the crazy thing is, we're still so early. Like trying to imagine the internet from back in the dial-up days.
It's both exciting and kind of terrifying, right? Speaking of which, we can't wrap this up without talking about central bank digital currencies, CBDCs.
Ah, yes. Government's getting in on the crypto game.
It's like they saw this whole decentralized finance thing taking off and thought, wait, we want some of that power.
I mean, it's a bit more complicated than that. There are definitely valid concerns about privacy, about governments having even more control over our money with CBDCs.
Yeah, if anyone's going to try and rain on the crypto parade, it'd be governments.
Right. But there's also the potential for more efficient government transactions, less fraud, new tools for economic policy. It's a double-edged sword, really.
So many layers to unpack. Sounds like we need a whole other deep dive just on CBDCs.
Yeah.
But for today, let's take a step back.
It's been quite a journey. We started with those early whispers of digital cash, saw the birth of Bitcoin, the rise of all these altcoins, that wild ride with ICOs, the DeFi revolution, and now mainstream adoption.
And who knows what the future holds? Will crypto revolutionize how we think about money? Will it reshape the world as we know it?
It's a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure. Challenging the status quo, pushing the limits of what's possible. It really makes you question the nature of money, of value.
One thing's for sure, it's never boring.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, is the end of our deep dive for today. But hey, the conversation doesn't end here. Keep digging, keep asking questions, keep exploring. Who knows, maybe you'll be the one to write the next chapter in the crypto saga. Until next time, keep diving deep.